Hi, I'm Aphra and I'm delighted to be here for Ada Lovelace Day Life 2022 to be talking to you about staying curious. I owe so much to this wonderful event, so it's an absolute honour to be talking once again. For a bit of background about me, when I was a bit younger, I used to go to Ada Lovelace Day Live and I was always so blown away by all the amazing women on stage. I would leave with a feeling that would reaffirm that yes, I was going to be an astrophysicist, or yes, I was going to work in artificial intelligence. Through this inspiration, I actually ended up studying physics with philosophy at university. After 3 years of attending Ada Lovelace Day Live, however, when I was 17 years old, I thought to myself for the 4th year, why don't I just join these amazing women on stage? Me, having barely completed my first year of A-levels, I should talk with all these qualified scientists. Though it was an absolutely daunting task, it was probably one of the best decisions of my life. However, right now I don't work in STEM, so what happened? Well, I'm 22 now, and some things have changed, others not so much. But today I want to talk to you about how the fact that I'm not in STEM now doesn't mean that I've seen the light and moved on. I actually want to say that STEM has nurtured a curiosity in me that I urge other people never ever to lose. So you may be wondering what I had to speak about when I was 17 years old amongst all these qualified scientists. Well, all I had to share was my experience and my story. And what I wanted to share specifically was that I thought that we were losing young women studying STEM before they even got to their STEM degrees. And I wanted to share this message on a large platform. And what better way to do that than Ada Lovelace Day Live? Before I'd done this speech, I had never spoken to such a large audience of people all for such a long period of time. And if I'm honest, I was completely petrified, speaking after people who clearly knew so much about science and all I was talking about was my experience. However, I had my speech prepared and a crumpled piece of paper that was mainly there for moral support and my thrown together PowerPoint slides. And I completed my speech. If you're curious, the speech is available on YouTube, but I'd just like to quickly summarise it in 3 points. Number 1, we want to get young girls in STEM, but we might overlook that it's when they start doing their GCSEs and A-levels that we start losing them. Number 2, to solve this, we should probably create a resource for those moments when things get slightly harder. And number 3, let's do just that and continue Ada's legacy. So I obviously did not do this alone, and I'm so grateful for the support I received from my parents, from my mentor Suze, from Sue and Lorna. And I got to speak about the imposter syndrome that I'd already felt before I'd even started my physics degree, in the hopes that perhaps other young women could relate. However, after I'd finished my speech, I thought to myself, what can I concretely do about this? So I created a website from scratch called Blossom, where I uploaded regular blog posts that were tailored to the academic year for those moments when I knew that things got a bit tough, as I knew from my own experience. I created a very dodgy looking Facebook page and a tagline that I still stand by today. The first person on Mars will be a woman. Mark my words. Blossom was a labour of love. It didn't quite blossom in the way that I'd hope, but I think that it did plant the seeds for doing things that were slightly bigger than myself. And I think, considering my lack of social media skills and marketing knowledge, Blossom was a success for my 17 to 18-year-old self. I worked on it during my first year of university, and I briefly got involved with a Women in STEM event whilst I was at university, but then it came to a beautiful close. But it did teach me a lot. One clear example is that during my university, I started an anti-racist society, and I think that all the skills that I gathered from creating Blossom helped it to become a success, essentially. We had talks, we had events, we had a successful fundraiser, and we helped to create a space in York that would make students of colour feel less isolated. Ada Lovelace and Blossom showed me that I have the capacity to change something and to turn an idea into something that could support other people. But you might be wondering what I'm doing now. As I've mentioned before, I don't work in STEM, but I did do a physics with philosophy degree. Right now, I actually work in publishing. Quite a change, I know. But in some ways, it's actually not that surprising if you think about it. Stories and STEM both quench an insatiable thirst that we might have for knowledge. To me, a physicist trying to work out a natural phenomena or a mathematician trying to get to the end of an equation is not too different to an artist thinking of something in their head and trying to show it on a canvas, or a writer writing a fantastical story for other people to just get lost into. What links all of these things in my head is that all of these things nurture one's curiosity, something that I never urge people to lose. I am forever grateful that I can pick up a book about physics and understand what's going on, or watch a Doctor Who episode and realise when things don't quite make sense. But I'm here to say that STEM isn't just something to do with numbers and calculations, it's an alternative way to see the world, and hence makes it easier for you to practically conceive of changing the world. Science is not just for smart people, because smart people are everywhere. Science is a subject of curiosity, and it's just making sure that you never ever lose that. I'm no longer a woman in STEM, but STEM hasn't left the woman that I am today. I would not change my education nor my degree, because studying STEM taught me that there is more than one way to look at the world, and hence when I face overwhelming world problems, which there are many, I know that there are more than one solutions that I can go down to actually try and do something about it. I work in a creative industry now, but it doesn't mean that I hate science. It just means that I can offer a new perspective, and this is not just for my job, it's also for my life. The ability to know and think in a different way is liberating, because I know there are different paths I can take and that my curiosity is never quite satisfied. So stay curious, just like Ada was. Ada planted the seed, Ada Lovelace has watered it, and I hope that with our curiosity we can make it blossom. Thank you.